Hello everyone, my name is Sushovan and this series is on conditioning for mixed martial arts. You will learn about the three energy systems and how each of these correspond to different activities during an MMA bout. Now, while some sports require a great deal of endurance but low to moderate power, like endurance running, others like Olympic weightlifting is just the opposite. MMA is a challenging sport because it requires a balanced combination of both. Our body has three different metabolic energy systems: the aerobic system, the lactic system, and the alactic system. Now, unlike single energy system sports like sprinting or marathon, MMA requires a very delicate balance between these systems. In order to perform at the highest level in an MMA match, you must develop all three energy systems. The requirements can change in the blink of an eye. 1 second you may be using footwork, moving around, throwing jabs, and the very next second you may be throwing hard strikes or going for an explosive takedown. Now let us look at each system in details. The aerobic system, also called the oxidative system since it utilizes oxygen, burns fat for fuel. It ideally never runs out since it is responsible for our body's digestion and cardiovascular function. It supports longer duration, lower intensity activities like footwork or light striking exchanges. But most importantly, it is also responsible for the recovery of the other energy systems. Athletes competing in any long-distance endurance sports like cycling, running, cross-country skiing, and triathlon all need exceptional aerobic capacity. Oxidative athletes are typically leaner and lighter than the other two athletic types. They can go on forever at a slow to medium pace, burning mostly fat, the ultimate high-efficiency, slow-burning fuel. Therefore, it should come as no surprise to you that a triathlete like Nick or Nate Diaz will have excellent aerobic conditioning and hence favor a slow cook, constant pressure style of fighting. Next, the lactic system, also called the glycolytic system since it utilizes glucose or carbohydrates, provides energy for activities lasting only about 60 seconds and higher intensity like long scrambles or hard striking exchanges. However, using this system takes a heavy toll on the body. As carbohydrate is used up, the hydrogen ion buildup makes your muscles ache and forces you to slow down. If you've ever had a hard wrestling scramble or fought for a takedown against the cage, you're familiar with what it feels like to exercise the glycolytic system at close to its maximum. A great example would be Amanda Nunes' exchange against Cris Cyborg, where both fighters were swinging for the fences for about 25 seconds. The burning sensation after such an effort is caused by a buildup of hydrogen ions, a byproduct of glycolysis, which can bring in wobbly knees after a minute or so of full-out effort. Lastly, the alactic system, also called the phosphagen system, since it uses adenosine triphosphate stored inside your working muscles, supports very brief but very high-intensity activities lasting about 10 seconds, like finishing an explosive double leg. Whether you're running a 40-meter dash, exploding in a double leg, or finishing someone with a vicious ground and pound, the ATP-CP system is the one to respond. Amongst the three energy systems, it's the most prepared for emergencies. A small quantity of ATP is stocked away in your muscles for when you need to expend a short burst of energy in a hurry. Let's say you're finishing a hard double leg. As you power your opponent up, the muscles of your hips, thighs, and lower back immediately burn through their ATPs. Now, most trained athletes need about 3 to 5 minutes of rest before their ATP is replenished enough to perform near the level of their previous effort. Now, one thing we must note is that your alactic system is rarely functioning at 100% capacity, and hence is able to produce energy for more than 10 seconds. Now, while your alactic system is working, your aerobic system is also working in the background to supply the ATP and remove the waste materials. That means, with a well-developed aerobic system, you can be explosive again and again. Let's look at this graph that shows how these energy systems might interact during the first 2 minutes of sustained activity. In the background, the aerobic system is constantly working. As more intense effort becomes necessary to dominate the fight, the lactic system quickly increases its output to match the demands. As and when the opportunity presents itself for a very intense burst of energy, the alactic system jumps in but exhausts itself very quickly. Another factor of the energy systems we have to note is that each system has two components to it: capacity and power. In simple terms, capacity means how long your fuel for that energy system will last. So someone who has enough ATP stored in his muscles for 10 seconds has higher alactic capacity as compared to someone with ATP stored for just about 8 seconds. On the other hand, if a fighter has more powerful alactic system, it simply means he can be more explosive within that given period of time. Now, the development of these three systems determines the kind of conditioning you will have. Whether you will be an explosive sprinter running out of gas in a minute, like Kimbo Slice, or a marathon runner going on and on, but never really picking up too much pace, like Nick or Nate Diaz. Now, one of the important points to note is that of the byproducts created during each of these activities. Now, the byproducts during the aerobic system is mainly carbon dioxide, so they do not adversely affect the muscles functioning in any form. On the contrary, the waste products during anaerobic activities is hydrogen ions, lactic acid, etc., which inhibit muscle contraction. To have consistent performance during an MMA bout, it is very important that an athlete gets most of its energy from the aerobic system. And this can be done by raising the anaerobic threshold of his body, a process we'll look at in later videos. In the next videos, we will look at how to strengthen each of these energy systems, the various methods and protocols, and also how to program these systems during the various phases of your MMA camp. If you like this video, do give us a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you soon.